upstairs, downstairs, maybe?
This is my daughter Gianna Journal, Anthony Journal, and my neighbor Deb. Take them out on the weekends, on Sundays, go ride. If there was something, if it wasn't safe, we would take them out on the track. That makes family fun. Get out there, ride, stay together, get them out of the house. Instead of the video games, and they get to pick on each other. So,
Right, and they come home rested.
so, and a lot of times we go ride on Lily Lake a lot. We used to ride on Camp Lake, and we tried to split it up so there wasn't so much noise on the lake at one time. That way it kind of spread it out. So, they just don't want to have their rights taken away for riding on lakes on weekends, so. That's it, anything to say?
And good riders still.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
First of all, like Tony said, it is a family affair. My son's not here today, he couldn't make it, but he rides, I've been riding for 30 years plus, and Tony's been, all these guys have been riding for 20, 30 years. Their kids are all riding. We go out there, we have fun. Most of us participate, have just been AMA related events. I don't know where the AMA guy is, but right there. And there's a sound decibel that they've been using for the last 3 years. They've really been implementing a lot lately. And, you know, you hear the sound and we have to adjust. And we have to make our bikes quieter, fender protection and that sort. Also, it's getting our kids off the computers and stuff like that. You know, that's a really big concern. As far as the sound, I heard someone saying someone was out on Camp Lake riding at like 5 in the morning or something. That's just ridiculous. If that's happening, they should be arrested. Or at least, yeah, that's just ridiculous. You know, so in between certain hours of noise ordinance, you know, and keeping your muffler or your spark arrestor down to a certain level, that's what we need to do for sure, because that's everywhere in the country that's happening, whether it be a pro AMA race or a semi-pro, which we've raced. There's a few or 4 or 5 of us that are, or were semi-pro or pro or amateur, whatever it is, that race the circuit throughout Wisconsin, and the decibel has to be met. You know, the snowbank issue, obviously if there's no snow, then we don't have to worry about that. After it snows, you have to plow the snow.
Yeah.
And then there's a bank. Now, I don't know, I was looking up the laws of that to see what plowing on the lake, but I couldn't find that in time. I don't know if there is any particular law on plowing a lake or creating a snow berm or whatever. But one solution would be to, if we do make a bank, or if we do plow and make a bank, that at the end of the day, or whatever, that would have to be dispersed or basically flattened out. You know.
Excellent, most excellent.
Yeah, and if that's the 2 concerns, the sound can definitely be addressed. Everybody knows that, right? We've all made our stuff quieter. You know, we've had to spend $300-400 on an exhaust system that reduce that. The bank, I can understand a little bit for the snowmobilers and that. We do stay away from ice fishermen. I do. Everybody else does. We try to stay as far away as we can. As far as houses and hearing the noise, just like a motorboat or a snowmobile or anything, I'm sure you're going to hear that.
Depending on how your muffler is.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Sometimes I hear a boat, sometimes I don't hear a boat.
Right.
I can count 3 people in this room that I can't hear their boat when it comes by my house.
Right.
I can hear some of your bikes.
Camp Lake, now, like Tony said, Camp Lake, we were going to quite a bit a couple of years back. We kind of moved to Lily Lake right now, but, you know, if this happens here, then that goes on and on and on and on.
Right.
And that's what we don't want to happen. We just want to be able to enjoy and have our family fun and not disturb anybody either. You know, and if the snowbanks aren't a problem, then I guess we'd have to maybe create an ordinance or something where
Right.
the snowbank can be leveled out.
What I think we're going to address. Now tell me your name again.
Dale Schaefer.
Dale Schaefer. S-C-H-A-E.
S-H-A-F-F-E-R. Schaefer Electric, in case you.
Research on it. As far as the bikes are concerned, they are not regulated by any other source. They are not regulated by the DNR. They are not regulated by the local police department as far as the noise level is concerned. That's why I feel it's very important that we do come up with some sort of ordinance that will regulate the noise level of the bikes. And I appreciate appreciate the fact that you've already taken the initiative to start that process. Now, another concern that I have from being a snowmobiler myself is the ice heaves, the size of the berms. And prior to the meeting, I did speak to some of the individuals, and they are going to try to take the initiative to knock those down. I can tell you that if you were traveling at night, the speed limit is regulated for snowmobiles to a maximum of 55 miles an hour. If you were to hit a berm that is 3 feet tall at 55 miles an hour, chances of you staying on that machine are very, very slim. So we need to regulate. I know that the woman up here just mentioned the need to not regulate. However, if it's not regulated by any other source, then it should be regulated by the local board members. And of course, the plowing, I would say, as long as you stay, within the shore zone, the 200 feet limit, that you would be fine. That's all I have to say. Thank you for letting me speak.
Hello, my name's Lorraine Paul, and I've been a resident of Salem and Hooker Lake for close to 40 years. And my desire when I was young to get a house on the lake, that was the biggest thing for my children to enjoy. In the summer, the water, and in the winter, the ice. And now my daughter's grown, but I look forward to winter, I look forward to summer, to see all the people skiing and fishing, and even the duck hunters. I know they wake me up in the morning, I think, oh, well, that's the duck hunters shooting in the morning. So I really enjoy every season, 4 seasons of the year, of activity on the lake. It's something to look at, and I feel that if you have a house on the lake, or even live close to the lake, that's part of it. You want people, the young people, to enjoy the lake, and the older people, however age you are. And sure, I think there are state regulations, and I don't see why we have to have so many further ordinances or regulations, because I think we just had an election where we said we don't want so many regulations. And live on the lake. And thank you so much for that.
We have 4 houses from the lake, actually not very far from Mrs. Valentine. And we have 4 four-wheelers and a dirt bike. And in the summertime, we have to drive to Deanna, to the Badlands, way up north to the Blackbird Falls or Rockford to find places to ride. And it's really nice for us to be able to take the kids, hop on the bikes, ride out to the lake and play around in the lake. I have a boat. My boat is a lot louder than our four-wheelers. I don't know about the dirt bikes so much, but, it's winter. The snow helps muffle the sound, and, if the sound's what the problem is, maybe we need to put some restrictions on how loud the bikes are. But as far as from where I live, I really can't hear them in the house. I know she's a little closer to the lake than I am, but in the summertime, if you're outside, you hear the boats and stuff just as much as you do the bikes. What is next? Boats, is the, duck hunters, are the guns going to be too loud? I mean, we move out to these areas so we can enjoy